Hey, everybody. Welcome to Take 5 Think Business Live. Looking forward to talking with Karen Larson again, clearbrandstrategy.com, in our series this week, talking about branding. We've been talking about Branding 101. We then talked about the branding guide, the brand guide, and now we're talking about implementation. Let's talk about implementation. I find as a business coach, sometimes the hardest thing is actually execution and implementation. And so, sometimes it's fun to have all the ideas and talk concept and strategy, but then you actually have to do the work, right? And you got to put it out there. So talk a little bit about implementation.
Yeah, well, John, as you know, you have an incredible team that helps you put all this together. But not everybody does. So you either work with somebody like Clear Brand Strategy to help you implement what you need, or if you decide you want to do it on your own or have somebody internally do it, there's different ways. Last time we talked about the most important things that you have to think about is your usage of your font, your colors, and your logo. So ideally, if you really want to do it on your own, you can always go on to canva.com and set up templates. It's a great way to do it. Or you can have somebody like us set them up for you, but it's at least a start. And again, as we talk every time, it's all about consistency. If you're implementing on social media, visually, your post should look very consistent, very, if they're scrolling and they see something in your color palette, it has to trigger. And just like I have to say, you do an excellent job with your branding, John. And when I'm scrolling and I see your brand, I know it's you. And that's ultimately what you want.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about color. I use color, orange is a primary color of everything that I use. And so talk a little bit about the importance of color and font when it comes to your brand. To me, it's important, but you're the expert.
It's super important.
Yeah.
It's, all of that is determined in the early branding process, but the choices of fonts are very important. We talked about if you owned a skateboard company. If you own a skateboard company, you can go wild. You can get really playful with the fonts.
Yeah.
But if you're a law firm, you have to, that's not what your audience is looking for.
Yeah.
So the choice of fonts is really driven by the industry that you're in and the audience that you're talking to.
Yeah. I love it. So when implementing and staying consistent, which we've talked a little bit about this week, talk a little bit about just, how you pre-plan and how you implement to be consistent.
Well, ideally, you have a marketing plan.
Yeah.
That is designed, that's laid out for every quarter at the minimum, ideally a marketing plan for the year, and then create a content calendar. And from there, you're just very organized about getting the content done. Otherwise, it gets pushed aside and it won't get done. Yeah. So for our clients, we lay out annual marketing plan, and then from there, we work with them to implement and push out to the audience.
Yeah, based on the editorial calendar. I love what you're talking about there. And I think an editorial calendar, I have a very detailed one that my whole team is, create, and everything is moves from that editorial calendar. And so it's great to have that. And if you don't have the internal team, or you don't have the internal people power, it's great to hire companies like yours. Karen, tell everybody where they can get in touch with you.
Yep. They can get in touch with me at clearbrandstrategy.com.
I love it. Karen, it's been great talking to you all week about branding. We're going to talk a little bit more tomorrow about you as a business owner. And I'm looking forward to that. Think community, clearbrandstrategy.com. Karen Larson, always full of great ideas, great strategy, great branding ideas, and it's always clear. Thanks, Karen. Appreciate it. Thanks, Think community.
Thanks, John.